Right,
Probably.
I'm hitting the go live button. Oh, and now for some reason it's telling me we're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I think that's a lie because it tells us that almost
Give it
every
more
week.
video.
Well,
Start
is that
doing
because
more
it
stuff.
thinks it needs two Brians
Quite
and it
possibly,
only has one?
or we're not moving around enough on screen. Anyway,
And
we're live now,
we're off
so
those galleries.
now it's time to read out the following. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Hello, hola, as they say in Spain.
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of the 19th to the 25th of June 2022, with the solitary exception of Tiger and Bunny 2, Episode 12, Man's Extremity is God's Opportunity.
I'm not familiar with that phrase, so I
Hearing
don't know
that
what they're
one.
trying to get across.
What extremity of man do you mean? I mean like the leg, the arm, something else? Don't let it be something else.
I think it's probably reference to Mugen and Fugen pushing their powers too far, which gives...
Yeah.
I think it's a man's reach exceeds his
Yes.
grasp kind of jobby. Yeah.
Our heroes, their opportunity to strike back during this story. Also, possibly also
On Christmas Eve.
may also be, oh, what's his name? The guy they're pumping full of drugs and overhearing.
Gregory Sunshine.
Yeah, Gregory Sunshine
Sunshine.
overhearing saying he's got a life sentence. It doesn't matter if you kill him, and then he'll go, "Hang on a second," and then starts eyeing up the submachine gun his guard's holding.
Yeah.
I mean, like it could be Jimmy Olsen's opportunity as well, because
Yes.
he is putting two and two together and coming up with evil. So,
Yes.
yeah.
But Yuri's not putting on that. He's not putting on that superhero suit to save the day. It's going to have to be up to the 5 remaining superheroes
Let's
to
try. Yep.
deal with this wayward pair of necks and their now boosted powers.
So
I did appreciate them kind of going, "What do you think, boss? Do you think we should do it?" And he's like, "Fire must be stopped at all costs." And they're like, "What? You usually don't use metaphors." It's like, do it.
I mean, yeah, he's literally talking like lunatic at that point, which is...
He slips into it for a sec. It's nice.
It's at the Hero TV. It's going to be like the end of year, like Christmas special. It's like the stakes have never been higher. The guy beat all this so he can go get home in bed in time for Santa. It's all very dramatic.
We haven't really been paying much. We've been focusing in on the new buddies and buddy system so much that I kind of forgot about the Hero TV premise of the fucking show. And it's kind of weird that it's just like half the cops in the force have been taken out. Now we need to see the cops take them out just before Christmas. And I was like, this is a weird fucking society that they live in.
But it's like a come. It's so unencapsulated. It's not like My Hero Academia, where like it becomes so dependent and so kind of like used to this being around that you need to like maintain this facade of it working and being a good thing at all costs. So you got to put these guys up on the telly just to maintain calm in the populace. Because this again, they saw half the Avengers get put into the ICU.
And they still don't know how they paralyze people. The reason they're doing it is because they want to beat the number of people, the number of superheroes. Is it LL Auden? The vigilante?
Yeah. They want to beat one more than him, but because there's two of them, that would make it fair. So they're beating twice as much as one more than him. So 26 altogether, which the heroes of Stern Build will make up the rest of the numbers. 36. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Yeah.
Because your maths. Because I think you'd beaten 17 and they wanted to do 18, but because there's two of them.
I'd forgotten how many they beat in those other things where we cut to them having already defeated them. Yeah.
And so there's 5 left to do. And they're pondering. They'll defeat these. They defeat these 4, and then we'll ponder what we're going to do about the blonde boy in the hospital. There's more like their head villains have a dinner date where they ominously look at that little Aurora poster again, which, having watched the last episode, has no bearing on the last episode. So I know there's probably a second half of this coming at some point.
Okay, yeah, I did appreciate the billboard on the side of a blimp just passing by. Is like, hey, this is coming up next, guys. Don't worry about it. We'll
But
get
not in
there.
these 13 episodes.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so they're going to lure them out to the Colosseum, but they're not going to let them know that Buddy's back. We're going to hide him in the gateway into the Colosseum.
Maybe the
Like it's
ace.
the bunny plan, the bunny, the secret bunny in your pocket is a good-ish plan. It's just like, yeah, it just relies on them not knowing this one fucking detail, which they've been checking in on him in the hospital. Not a great plan. I like their idea of, because the guys have put up a video on YouTube calling out all the heroes. So the heroes put an official announcement out: let's fight in this empty stadium. Come and get us, or you're cowards. And they have Mr. Black doing most of the shit talking because he's good at it. Basically, he seems like the kind who would do it.
He's on their level.
Exactly.
Like, you know, just listen to his voice, you can tell he's mentally not much older than they are.
Yeah. But I like that idea where initially they're asking their evil dad to go like, hey, sorry, you didn't mind that we put up a YouTube video saying the heroes suck, do you, dad? And one's like, no, that was a great idea. And then the heroes are kind of like, yeah, we can do that back at them. If they can call us out, we can call them out in a situation to our advantage. And we'll have Bunny bushwhack them in this empty stadium, and no one can possibly get hurt. So it's perfect.
But, that's what they want. They want to inspire terror. So like, you know, they rolled up then, and it's just like, all right, we're gonna fight. Let's fight here in the kind of Colosseum. No. We're gonna teleport away. So everyone hold hands. But no. So that kind of spoils the plan a bit. You know, they're gonna threaten to do like it's God knows what. So Barbie has to kind of jump out. It's like, oh, now the ruse is up. So it's gotta go on with this. And of course, it teleport directly into like the crowded city center in front of a church, no less, on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, they said they didn't want to. Their reason for moving was this is where some other villain was defeated, and they were like, yeah, we don't want to do like a once over, or we don't want to this famous location. We're going to go to the famous location where our hero was defeated. All right, or their favorite villain, I suppose, was defeated.
Yeah, it's kind of very childish. Oh, well, they had Bagsies in that one, so you gotta have Bagsies somewhere else.
Yeah, bit of an odd one, but yeah, the heroes have to go along with it. I did also appreciate them calling us like, hey, Barnaby, I bet he was going to like jump out at us when we didn't know he was there. Now he feels really bad about it and so running up because he's like, oh shit. Like they do have some cop onto them. They do have some like capacity to plan and sneak around and shit. But
they watch anime. They've seen this thing before.
Yeah.
But they do fall for the old like, we're going to like fun like bicker among ourselves. It's like, okay, Mr. Black, you go game and saying, no, I'm not going to game. Start treating me like a little rookie. Fun saying, I just do what I say, rookie. And then pow, we fun go for it. Put the bucket on Mugen, teleporting one's head, so then he can't, because he's able to see where he's going to teleport them, and then we'll take care of this. And then use the lead to kind of Tiger uses a kind of grappling wire to trap the other dude because he's just tied up, so you can't really. That's isn't really attacking.
You're not using force against them around. You're just keeping them separated and figuring out how to take out the guy who's essentially invincible and can throw your own hits back at you, while they take out the teleporty guy.
He's got a bucket on his head for a very long time.
Your man's psychically holding the bucket on his head, basically.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't never run fun hose him down. Okay. They get up much longer. I might catch, I'll get a bit of cold out here in these like freezing temperatures. Stop it. No, come on, you gotta like drown him. Where's the fire? Like I can't got any fire. I got water. She's just like scared, shaking her boots.
Yeah, it's a reasonably good plan, except for all of the things that need to go well for it to work. If one of these things goes wrong,
these damn kids.
I did appreciate like there's a lot of good shots of the them fighting and such on top of. I'm guessing it's supposed to be like St. Patrick's Cathedral, or at least based off it in New York. But they can't keep that bucket on his head long enough to have him teleport in and get his brother out of Tiger's. Is it just called Tiger's Whip? Tiger's Line? I don't know if he has a name for that. His rope, basically.
Well, if that goes down, we've got to use the old fucking Wild Tiger super good luck mode, make fists go big and punch him. And that actually gets him. I think was it just before he releases the energy right back at you. That's when you can get him. So if you can just give him that split.
He can't
second
absorb
window.
energy while he's releasing it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he will take the hit. But they're all kind of like, oh, we can't really hit him now. And his brother just pulls a gun on him and it's just like, I'm just going to shoot him in the fucking head. I can charge him up too. Which is a pretty good plan. Yeah.
Yeah. They're getting for pretty good mess around, getting tossed up a bit, but they're heroes, so they keep on coming. In fairness to them, even the caravan, I can't shoot one. I'm going with my little cutie like rod in the skull. Ah, fuck, let him go.
Too.
Yeah, it ain't going well.
No.
How does it end?
My tire getting pushed through the fucking wall. I think that to go like do like Wonder Twin powers and it's going to go combined energy release. We can get incredible velocity and then just going to fun and smash him into the wall. Or what? After filling him full of bullets and releasing all that sort of energy.
Yeah, it's definitely some of the more actiony stuff that we've seen in the series or this season so far. Yeah, good stuff.
You know, you might see Lunatic appear again because he was left to bail these guys out of a jam.
Contractually obligated appearance. Yeah.
He can appear spookily there on top of the church spire and everything. It's all set up for him. He's ready to come in. Yeah, the Twins' dad is still not approving of this at all. Is having more reservation because he feels like I think they're kind of maybe as well they're kind of like asserting some of their own will as well. That he's used to kind of like being the kind of fatherly, maybe a bit kind of like protective figure to them, and now they're kind of like oh, we're making their decisions and they're taking drugs and staying out all night.
They're putting their faces out there. They're taking experimental drugs, and that also sucks.
They've become YouTubers. Oh.
Yeah. Because Jimmy Olsen's other
that they've taken experimental drugs.
Our powers are even more powerful. It's like, dude, shut up. I was like, oh fuck, sorry. He's like, why didn't you edit that out? Anyway, but Jimmy Olsen's like, more powerful. Where have I heard that before? Time to sneak around my workplace. What's this? A couple of weirdos talking about fucking doing nasty dealings. So is Jimmy Olsen just going to get them arrested? I have no idea. But he literally has Barnaby's phone number, so yeah, he has an in.
Yeah. Yep. And as we say, we've got old Mr. Sunshine there, knowing what fate awaits him unless he grabs all of that submachine gun somehow.
Powers up submachine guns to fire faster. Hugging them.
Then we've got Birdie Wing, Golf Girl Story, episode 12. Aoi and Eve okay together? The doubles championship begins. We've had the second season announced, a trailer put out, which seems to spoil loads of story points that you might have guessed by watching the first season.
Well, I'm glad I haven't watched it then. Okay.
We're only halfway through the opening lineup of future opponents.
Yes.
Was ever in doubt who was going to get more of it?
That's true. A lineup of, I guess, various people's fetishes they'll be fighting in the various tournaments they go through.
Golf fetish. Come on, get it right.
Golf, sure.
Yeah.
That as we get one who's very quickly defeated, along with 4 other nondescript characters. We get so the gimmick is they're in this high school tournament, which seems to have been. Is this the one that her mum's invented?
This is the first version of this thing, which is coinciding with her going to this fucking golf school. It's to get her daughter promoted, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. And so now it's this whole thing like, go have a prefectural championship, and you're going to be representative of the prefecture. So you're seeing some of the rivals that they've kind of crossed paths with before. They've of course won their prefectural tournament, and they're just like, I'll get to the top. I'm going to take out this and this, you know.
Because basically everyone at the tournament knows she's the one to beat. This thing was set up for Aoi. And who's her partner? Whoa, a foreigner. Yeah.
She's so intimidating, but she's so attractive. I'm very confused right now. I better go home and, I gotta go and polish some wood. What? My 3 wood. I gotta shine my 3 wood.
Aoi is so condescending, but she's so cute. But yes, this third year, who is somebody's muscle fetish, shows up, and she's going to have none of this. She's going to show them what real power involves.
I'll show you how to drive.
And
But she didn't
yeah.
contend on golfing against someone who has the perfect golfing body, as we've established before.
Yes. So she out shoots Aoi, but Eve outshoots her, and then picks up her golf club, pretends it's a gun, and by shooting her.
You have the referee there. I don't know what it's
Yes.
called in golf, but basically going like, "Hey, no shit talking between each other as opponents." And I'm like, "That's fair. Can you like pretend to shoot someone with your golf club?" I feel like that's against the good sportsmanship rule or something.
No, can we cite Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore? He's doing the finger guns all the time. You know, is that on? So it's all about what's reputation, you know, and even could become known as like as the bad girl of the high school teen golfing world. So that's famous stuff. That's reckoning that sponsorship wise, she can do whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah. So the team captain is worried that they're bickering all the time, but she said, "What about teamwork?" But the coach is like, "No, we don't need teamwork with these two. Them arguing will just push them to become stronger." And also the same thing for their caddies, who aren't allowed to take part in this tournament.
But you're allowed to give notes and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I like how you're seeing as well, like the kind of the contrasting as well, and why South to me actually is probably could be the best choice of caddy for Eve, because while the other one is all button up on, I've calculated, you know, all of the possible driving range, you know, all possible hazards here, you know, I've done all the averages, and all the numbers say this, you know, it's all science. Whereas South is up, no man, you gotta feel the green, it's a living thing, man. You gotta do, it's not out there, it's up here, it's in here. Which is all that way to Eve golf. She golfs at her gut as well, so it's nice to have her caddies on the like same frequencies.
Yeah. Like your one's kind of giving out that she's just walking down the golf course and taking notes. It's like, I'm using a drone to get all the fucking information. It's like, yeah, because Eve didn't have access to drones when she was a street golfer. Goddamn it.
No, it's all in the wind, man. You gotta smell it. You gotta taste the grass. You gotta do all that. You know, how much piss is in this bunker? Not as much as you would think. It's very well maintained.
So yeah, Eve has been. If Eve beats Aoi, then she'll get all the hamburgers she can eat. But then there's also another thing going on, where the coach has told them that during the qualifier in a different region, the one where the two girls who met her at the airport way back, the androgynous girl and the girl who appears to be getting loads of flashbacks in the next season, judging from the trailer. So I'm going to guess she's somehow more involved in the story than is apparent at the moment.
Okay.
So they got -10 each, and so he wants them to do better than them.
You gotta come in under more par than they managed to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Beat their score combined, and
so basically you're golfing against this. You have a thing to achieve. So they're competing with each other, and they're also competing with this other golfer's score. Basically, yeah.
Yes, and it doesn't seem to be really because they'll have more to achieve. It's more that he wants to send a message to that other school by getting the pair of them. Or possibly to that other girl. But
if Russian news is one saying, "Oh my God, team captain, we got the score from this," and it's like, what, you know? And while the androgynous one, Kaide, is like, "Fun, this is impossible," you know, and already getting the fear in, already kind of like working that in. That's the strategy, getting under your skin right from the get go. We got bust them out there as well, and you know, everyone was coming to open the uniforms, but it's like Eva's like, "No, man, can't find Finn now. I'm gonna show up looking like some kind of fucking Gwen Stefani sort of looking yoke."
Definitely, wearing her trendiest fucking gear, because she's like, "Oh, I was told to, like, this is a war, so I'm showing up in my battle suit," or whatever she calls it.
Yes.
The coach of their fucking team is just like, everyone's like, "Hey, coach, are you sure this is a good idea that you shouldn't be in uniform?" And he's like, no, let it happen.
I'll allow it.
Are you sure you should let them compete against each other rather than compete against their opponents? No, let it. He just lets them fucking run slipshot over him entirely. It's working.
Yeah,
but I'm curious as to when it's not going to work.
Once you see that trailer, there's definitely some stuff going on with him. which
Okay,
will be
okay.
described. in the second scene.
Well, he's more control of that. It's just if you make them think it's their own idea and they're getting their own way when they're actually just like just going along with what my will is anyway. Just like just little nudges, just to kind of keep it that way. If make it think it's their idea, they'll always go along with it, and they'll put more of their effort in.
I guess that's true with like the mini golf thing because he set up that whole situation to happen. Basically, yeah.
It just arriving there, and then like he was just, yo, which one of you is Mizuho Himiko? Just fun shouting this in the hallway, and saying, shh, this is highly improper. And out she comes. Oh, Mizuho Himiko. Well, actually, it's kind of going to say, hey, what the fuck? Fuck you saying? Your voice down. Respect your fucking senpais over here. Fun saying, no, it's okay, Mizuho Himiko. It's just like, so we meet again. We meet at last. I've heard a lot about you. I've heard a lot about you. I look forward to playing against you in a tournament. I look forward to killing you with golf. But if something she actually says, I will kill you with golf.
So the focus seems to be on our pair, that pair, the pair we met at the mini golf tournament, and a pair who were spoken about but not seen during this episode. We also get it's been such a long time since she showed up, I've forgotten her name. Her old caddy.
Oh yeah, she does ring home for a little bit.
Yes. Lily complaining that she bought the wrong gunpla.
She bought like the regular one and not the high grade, was it? Or something.
And also,
no, but just bought some weird mobile suit for like fun. No one buys this suit. It was in one episode. It was crap. I want the master grade. Here be MG. That's what it stands for. Jesus.
Yeah, again, it's the thing of, I guess, I from the trailer, I assume we're going to actually deal with the adults in the next series, who I assume will have to be adults because they've parented various of the children characters. So it won't be the case of, oh, that's the adult. Oh, hang on a second, they're 18 years old. They're the oldest character in the show.
Battle scarred boy of 17. Battle scarred man of 80.
But we've got one more episode of this to go yet. So the only bad news about the trailer is it does not have much of the caddies in the trailer, if anything. So they better not be sidelined because we do get it's Ishida. She introduces herself twice in this episode.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the main character. I've shown up again. Just like
trips over herself twice. Oh, that's her cute little thing she does. Oh. She's a real fuck up, but she's a great caddy.
This is penultimate episode. Last episode next week.
Okay.
And talking to penultimate episodes, it's the Demon Girl Next Door Season 2, Episode 11, New Semester, The Magical Girl's New Duty. Can they find another finale within the material they got? Yes, they can. But first, it's Mikan's first day at the new school. She's worried about her introductory speech, but it goes very well. And then they're trying to find a club for her to do. There's discussion of making the two magical girls play tennis against each other just to see with the carnage which would ensue.
Yeah, because she says like I can't join the sports thing because I have literal superpowers. Like that would be massively unfair and I could injure someone. Also, she is worried about her curse just messing up the entire school. Obviously.
Also, the occultist girl has made a potion for Momo to drink to control her powers when she goes into the dark side again. And it's this very ominous black orb sitting in some murky black water.
And it'd be fine if it was like a vial, but it's a jar. It's a drink this whole fucking jar.
A mason jar, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. A nasty amount of nasty looking potion, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. It's grim. It's really in a show which is generally drawn very cute. It's a really grim image. And will she have drunk it by the end of the episode? Yes, she will. So then they get in. Then they like talking about clubs. We discover that Momo, because she didn't want to do any of the official activities, she started her own activity, which is called the Get Surrounded by Cats Club, I believe.
Yeah, the teacher encourages you to like make up your own club if no other club fits. However, like the school does still have to approve of it, Momo. You can't just hang out with a bunch of cats. That's not cool. She's like, I'm just checking on the neighborhood's cats to ascertain the general health and well-being of the neighborhood through the playing of with their cats. And it's like, no, that's not gonna fly. You need to join a real fucking club.
Then they get involved in the setting up the school sports festival, and have yes, Shamiko is worried that they're using her as the measurement for all the activities, so they're all going to be too easy. So she gets Mikan to swap places with her, and it goes very well. Everyone loves Mikan. But then Shamiko's like, oh, she's like, I love Momo. Why aren't they loving Momo as much as they're loving Mikan? And it's all, but then she gets too. They establish it early on. They remind you that the curse can trigger when she's too happy as well. And
I think she
yeah,
falls off the what do you call it? The chariot horse.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they had
the
a
curse
bad one,
triggers,
like,
which leads us to the second half of the episode. Is they decide the way they're going to speak. They're going to travel into Mikan's heart, speak to the ancestor inside her, and try and get them to knock it off.
because Mikan did mention, is like, I used to be able to talk to the demon that is part of the curse that's in me. So but that's kind of gone, and the curse has gotten a little worse since. I've less control, and it was like, wait a minute, I'm a fucking dark mistress. I can fucking talk to that demon. I can talk to demons all the time. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump inside your dreams. It's perfect. It's what could possibly go wrong.
Well, we'll find out next week, because they just drink the potion, they go inside, and now Momo's got a really cool sword, of which Shamiko's really impressed with, because that's her sort of stuff. I guess their family just really likes swords.
Well, I mean, like, she literally has a fork that can turn into anything that is
Yes.
stick-shaped, and a sword is absolutely stick-shaped. You could have a cool sword too.
She could, but as we found out in the last episode, she had a very great difficulty imagining a really cool sword. Unlike her little sister. But she's got her little sister's powers as well. There's some flashbacks of like when Shamiko's first day at school. But yeah, the
When
crux
she
of
was
it
still
is,
quite sickly, yeah.
Mikan's first day, and then leading to the curse triggering, and then we're going to go and get our finale, which is facing off against whatever is in her heart, causing the way that she was going to, like, what she's bringing, like some detergent, and I can't remember what the other thing she is bringing as a present for.
Oh, it's like a housewarming gift kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you won't have any like dishwasher soap or something like that already when you
Yeah.
move into a place. And I was just like, that's not great, because obviously this is a demon that's been living there for a while, but it's the best she got.
Yeah.
We do see a silhouette of this demon. It is presumably another little girl, but yeah.
Yes, because there are only two men, a cardboard box, and a tapir.
Again, not enough tapir action this episode, but you know that's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah, I think that they've had their part of the story for this season. I'm sure they'll be back.
Yeah, probably.
Or they'll probably be back at the end. They'll probably have a slap-up meal around the restaurant or something to wrap it all up. Then, the thing I forgot to watch, I'm KODAMA Kawashiri, episode 19, Curry in a Pouch.
Oh, this is a two-parter. Curry in the pouch. Wait, no. I guess it's not really a two-parter.
Well, it sets up as well. Like,
Yes.
I bought a white hoodie. Oh man,
It's been
so
ages
good.
since I bought a white hoodie. What the hell? I love white hoodies. Yeah.
Spill coffee, fucking ink
From the
flat around
drawn manga.
trying to eat food. Just fucking, it's all that's why I don't buy these things. So, but curry in the pouch though, no, it's inside the pouch. You know, so you just cook it in the bag, and it's just all liquidy and good. Oh, it's so, and I'm very, very fast, of course. I get it out of the pouch though. You can get it like, you know,
you do the
like
tear strip,
90%
but
of the way with a bit.
the last bit doesn't.
And it was like, "Fun, you foolish woman, just pour it out. It's already open. It's
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. You can pour it out. There's nothing in the way anymore. Just do it for and say, no, I gotta do this all the way. Then, well, it's all over. I don't wear white things anymore.
Yeah. That's why I won't wear like this white shirt, like when I'm making curry or I'm having ramen or anything else that I know is going to cause a lot of fucking overspill. Like it's a bad fucking idea. You're going to have a bad time.
I often forget that I never be just taking out. Just like it'll just kind of come over me when I'm making like a pasta sauce, and just like, wait a minute. And then like thankfully it's usually not on me, but I'm just like, oh my god, this is dread. And if I can make 2 aprons in the drawer, there's you use for bacon. I never fucking use the things. Ever think to bring them
Yeah.
out any of those times.
That's the other fucking thing. Forgetting that you have aprons.
They got pockets. I can put the MP3 player in there to listen to my tunes and wherever. I'm like, anyways, not a life hacker.
Right.
Don't live on
Can
the
you
edge.
keep the following just as short? Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Ultra Romantic Episode 12, Kaguya Wants to Confess Part 2, Kaguya Wants to Confess Part 3, Dual Confessions Part 1, plus Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Ultra Romantic Episode 13, Dual Confessions Part 2, and the Shuchiin Afterparty.
I think we can run through it pretty quick.
Encapsulate it. Yeah, encapsulate the thing. It's all leading up to these two. They go and confess is what's going to happen. It's like, there's a drama of he's going to Stanford, but I can't stand in his way. But Hayek is like, well, no, man, you got to do it now or never. So you gotta do a word or two of like how she's going to say it. And it's all like, no, it sounds too lame. No, it's not too rigid. But, so it's like how lays it all out.
I really did like the conversation between her and between the two of them in like just a random corridor, basically, with the desks piled up from being put away, and just because it moves really nicely between the maid kind of taking the piss is like, nah, that fucking sucks, that's a terrible confession, like judging her confessions, and also like really kind of heartfelt stuff, like she really feels for her, is like, I want this happiness for you, but also I'm gonna like just tear you the fuck down for doing it wrong.
Yeah,
it's a nice combo.
For each of them as well, it shows this there is this like very like genuine core of affection that draws on. I gotta bend them to my will and make them confess to me. I just saying, why are you that way? Are you that vindictive? Because I just get to know you've been saying, yeah, you're just kind of a bit of a fuck up sometimes. You're not that kind of like vindictive, really. But Kaguya is also like, she does feel that kind of vindictive, because I was also dismissive, always seeing people like, for what they've used me as opposed to the way I was brought up. But President, he was just so kind to everybody, including me.
He was kind of selfless without expecting anything back, and she worries that he only treats her kindly because he treats everyone kindly. It's like, does he actually care about me? That's why I need this. I need him to say it to me as an affirmation that like I matter and that I mean more to him than just him being a decent fucking guy. Yeah,
and I've always admired why he's such a hard worker. He's always moving forward, and I want to have him, but I couldn't ever stand in the way of him going to Stanford. That's an incredible opportunity. I can't just trample him down like that.
Because it's the part of her that's showing that she's a decent person. She doesn't want to confess to him in this case because it's just like, well, that would make him reconsider going to Stanford, and I don't want to take that from him. He fucking deserves that. He's earned it. Like,
And he's coming from the opposite way. Like, I've won, like, I gotta get her to confess to me because I've worked so hard to get, first of all, into this school. I've worked so hard at so many things to get your attention, just to show you what I am. I became student council president, getting top grades from him. I'm a man of fucking moral fiber and fortitude.
Like he sees her as just like morally superior, like, and just like she's a natural prodigy. She's just better than him, so he has to like really raise the bar in order to even achieve the same level as her potentially.
I want you to see me as an equal, not somebody who's just like in adoration of you. I want to like meet you as an equal partner to this. It's all done in the grand scheme, the grandest of schemes that he's ever concocted. But this is the one that finally fucking sticks. So. All the stuff over last week, there's like a mystery. There's going to be like Arsene, the Phantom Chief. He's going to ruin.
He's going to claim the school festival for his own. So that kind of comes to a head here. But I appreciate that it was all misdirection. The other kind of B thing in this, before getting to it, is the treasurer guy. He's accidentally confessed and does not realize it because he's a fucking dope. He's not paying attention to all the signals around him. So she doesn't put him. She doesn't put him down. It's basically she kind of goes like, I feel like I don't know you well enough, and I'd like to get to know you better before I can give you an answer. And he thinks she's talking about when those cherry blossoms are going to bloom. And she's like, how long do you think you can wait? And he's like, March. I think March is good.
Springtime.
And she's like, what the fuck, dude? That's you got fucking some balls to be able to wait that fucking long. And he's like,
yeah.
So he does not realize that she's going to give him an answer in several months.
Yeah. If fucking like dawns on him, like, in the middle of seeing her in the play of fun, saying, oh yeah, the heart legend. Oh,
well, it kind of dawns on him as like, yeah, but no one thinks that's a thing, right? It still hasn't he
That's
still hasn't
probably
copped on. He also accidentally,
Yeah,
kind of slightly confesses to another girl in the next episode, because it's like you don't have a fucking clue.
yeah. Well,
It can be interpreted as such, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
you wonder if, oh, like, it'd be nice if you went with Kaguya-sama, you know, like, no, if that worked out, it'd be really cute and it'd be and it'd be kind of good for his art. You know, he's actually somebody who's managed to escape this reputation
yeah.
he had that seems to be still following him around. At the same time, there's this thing between him and Eno where just, you know, they hate each other, but they have
They
each other
respect each other.
for each other. And what is that fun thing? When I'm on like the discipline, like the morals committees, I'm out here patrolling like outside the schools, and no one's like fucking doing anything like, you know, smoking or teenage drinking or something
But
like that.
she's
Like,
patrolling the festival.
she's missing the big campfire
rather than enjoying the festival. She's again trying to make put other people's happiness ahead of her own, and he looks out for her in that regard. And I thought that was like a nice moment where he literally gives her one of those little heart key rings, because it's just like, well, I give it to you guys do the lost and found, right? And she's like, yeah, but I'm fucking keeping that. But also he gives her a video of the very romantic thing that happens, which is also a way of giving her a heart, which again, like I said, it's interpretive, which I liked, where he's accidentally confessed to two girls on the same night and does not realize in either way that he has done this.
But do the fucking player without knowing it. He decided to go.
Yeah.
If he knew his confidence, that's the tragedy of it. No, and
He does not. Yes.
Anyways, it all culminates here on top of the clock tower. This is where it's all going to, and he's there, and he's being fucking like super fucking serious now. And Kage is also coming in there.
Kage has figured out the plan, because the Arsene mystery was literally just a thing to distract
Fujiwara
because she'd be like, okay, there's 5 clocks and at this time, so that probably coordinates to like markings on a map, and you know, they're to the library.
It's a whole red herring kind of job.
It's basically like none of the fucking clues mean anything. Basically, Kaguya has to figure out what I would think me, the president, would do. And none of the clues lead to that. It's just a distraction for her, which is, I thought, was a really funny bit.
Yeah. But anyways, comes up to this confession, and it's about like, you know, he's trying to get the words out, and so is she trying to get the words out, but it's just not happening. It's like, okay, I just gotta show you, like, you know, this one thing then, and a balloon, like, you know, the balloon that got stolen, like, you know, over a dragon on the top of the school is floating down, and it's gonna land in the fire. Going, oh, what's gonna happen there? Then poof, a shower of inside that individual heart-shaped balloons all flowing up, and it all being brought up right with the clock tower, and it's a spectacular scene. And pretty much this is what's his ultra romantic plan. All like, no, he's been doing this for months. That's the whole
all the episodes we've been seeing have been parts of his plan coming together, which is really nice, actually. That he's tied. It's tied them all together like that. Yeah.
All the things about making balloon animals and all the craft balloon things. And having like access to all his link ups in the student council, and he's in good with the principal of the school and everything like that. So he crafted a mystery to distract Fujiwara. He left a lot of food stalls in the way to distract Eno, because I guess she's just going to eat everything. He stays to play later so Ishigami, you know, he'd be like distracted by that, so he wouldn't be in the way. Also, Kage will come up here and figure it out. And so from the grass from the heart-shaped balloons, and the grass from the heart-shaped balloons, it's just like, oh, it's just going to say, we're going to exchange cards. Is this what's going to happen? It's like, would you come with me? I'm going to go to Stanford. Will you come with me? He's like, what? I got you a letter of recommendation as well. You know, so, in a way, it's like saying, I want you in my life forever, without saying it. Like, so no, we gotta try and make this work, baby.
It's like, I want you to fulfill, like, she's like, if I catch Arsene, then I get a wish, right? And then the wish is to be with you forever. And he's like, come with me to Stanford. And it's like, that's technically my wish, so that's kind of a confession. Yeah, then we basically said it, right? You said it to me, but I said it to you, and neither of them actually fucking say anything. But it's very fucking clear. Yeah, they're together by the end of it. I'm not even sure if they realize that both of them have confessed, basically.
well, it's when she goes in for the smooch, because that's actually, I haven't got the words for this. You just kind of put it into action. Whoosh.
Yeah, they
And-
smooch. One of the girls
and-
sees this because they, in trying to solve a mystery that does not exist, they found a secret passage that leads to fucking see the clock tower, and one of them is looking at binoculars and gets shot with the sheer romance of it, and she's bleeding out on the ground with the sheer romance. And I was just like, that's very funny. 'Cause the other girls are like, come on, I want to see, rather than taking care of the friend.
It's just like it's not gonna happen this time again. It's gonna be this other thing now. It'll get in the way. It'll just like make up something else. It'll still be like there's a very like inching forward of things having fun. And saying no, this is actual like payoff for some of this. And the beauty of it is that there is still a way to kind of hang on to majority of the premise of this, because
yes.
one need to never reconfess. They're thrown definitely together because you get this little thing. Oh, it's back to the student council meeting, and back to regular kind of days, and they're doing the whole thing. They're playing like new Borg and a Fujiwara invented, and they're all falling the whole thing. It's like, let's go. Guess we'll go match wits, Kage. Everyone, yes, President, let's do that. But they're holding hands under the desk.
So everyone else doesn't know, but the other thing is neither of them have technically said, I like you, go out with me. One of a regular confession, but they fucking smooched in like a big romantic thing. I'm just like, that's fine. And even later when she's talking to the maid, she's like, oh, but he didn't confess to me yet. Now I need to come up with a plan of how to get him confessed. It's like, you said you met out with him. It's like, yeah, but like he didn't fucking confess to me, and I need to fucking get him to confess. Like she's still stuck on this fucking thing.
She fucking Frenched him. She went all the way. I was just like, whoa, I got the idea from watching like fucking.
It's very clear.
Those two couples we keep finding in the locker fucking eating the faces off each other.
Yeah. They're going out, but they don't know that they've confessed to each other, so they can still keep doing this if they want. But yeah, very, very good ending. I would say.
We retained like the awkward trying to like preserve the facade of something going on. So we've basically less worried that we get into that stage in the sitcom. We're all pairing up now, so like the jokes go out the window, and second sentimentality kind of saps in more and more. Well, now we gotta keep this thing kind of on the down low, because we haven't really sort of kind of confessed to each other just yet, and also like how to break the news that we're going to be gone next year to Stanford, presuming everything works out.
There is still a bunch of things they could have plans within plans, and people fucking up those plans.
I believe.
How about the rest of our cast?
I believe you're already halfway through the comic at this point.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah, well, it's nice that you weren't waiting until like the very, 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 very end. Like, this one is out as long as it possibly can, and then we get this, and then that's what's going to end up on saying, no, now we have this, and we've each, somehow we've rejected one purpose of this series, but we kind of embraced another of it, or we keep it alive in another way. But you're not kind of left on this like. Because in a story themselves, they kind of realize we can't do this forever, because our school years are slipping right by us, and we haven't like so many things that we can't do. As Kaguya-sama Kaguya-sama and saying all the things I planned for us, that we're going on a date on Christmas and all that. Well, he'll be gone next year. Well, let's fucking confess to him now. You can get all this still time. You gotta go on and do it, girl.
It's good because like you can do more of this show, and again the premise isn't fucking dead. You can still work with it. They're still trying to get each other to admit it out loud that they're going out, but they know they're both going out. But other people don't know, so you've more stuff to play with there. Or it could fucking end there, and you could just stop fucking watching, reading. You're good, which is nice. Like that, it just has that built into it. Yeah. So if it was cancelled, you'd be good. But I mean, obviously, there's the comic, so we're good.
I think it's heading towards its end at the moment. I don't think it's quite finished yet. But,
yeah.
It's a solid performer though, and this is inevitable. It's going to get more. It is going to get more. We get us like it's not too far away. All it's consistent. I can always just like ban myself in the comic if I want to now.
Yeah, I should probably go back and watch the first seasons and shit. But I did start reading the comic, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that. So
it is one of those where like the two versions they do play off each other, kind of taking different things. They just like again they're very experimental, very kind of like media collage style what they are in the anime. So it's both of them are highly enjoyable in each of their own like separate regards.
But the question is, can you read that when there's now 20 volumes of Saint Seiya up on the Shonen Jump app for you to read?
I'm not going to complain about having too many things to read. That's a good problem to have.
There'll be even more because they've announced today, I believe, that they're going to be translating everything on Jump Plus into English, apart from the few things they can't.
Fucking nice.
Yeah, it's all coming all fun, interpollinating. It's
Ooh.
gonna be great.
Yeah, I wonder when JoJo's Part 9 eventually starts.
I think they're kind
whether
of
it'll-
dripping that out because like they're keeping behind the anime. It seems to be what the
Yes,
deal
but I
is. as
wonder
far as I can
whether
tell. Yeah.
if Part 9 starts, whether it will get translated straight away. Because if it's like 7 and 8, there's no reason not to. You could,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to, you could
Yeah.
skip straight to 8 over 7.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
you can
wouldn't.
pretty much jump in wherever
I
on JoJo.
wouldn't,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I don't think that would. It was just like, oh, they've sped up with now they're doing the weekly release of 6. I was like, and now they're mentioning the Jump Plus. I say part of it is clearly you're now in competition with Webtoon, so
Yeah, you do want to keep the people on week to week rather than just
yes.
have them buy it for like a month,
Yeah.
read everything they want and throw it the fuck away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be like the subscription model for most things that work it out well.
Or the
yeah.
people who just read the weekly free chapters and then end up buying the physical copies.
It's good.
Or in
It
the
fucking
case of me on
works.
certain things, I do both. Pay for the subscription and buy the physical copies. But there's some things where I would have bought the physical ones in the past, and I'm like, I don't have the space for it now. Don't have the space.
Yeah, yeah.
At least until One Piece finishes. Right, on to the next thing. This being one of those things that I might have bought physically in the past, but now I just have to read it on the Shonen Jump app. It's Dragon Quest: The Adventurer Die, episode 83, Baran's Last Will. Before we get to Baran's Last Will, though, we've got to deal with Hyunkle, the Beast Commandos, and him.
Friendship ended with Crocodile. Him is my best friend now.
Yes.
Crocodile seems fine with it. It's just like he needs someone his own age or possibly only like a week old. I think that would be better. Yeah.
Thankfully, Mr. Beast has punched some more healing into him, so he's not dead. However,
he's not
he'll
dead,
never
but
walk
you'll never
again.
fight again because all of your bones are broken. I don't know how the fuck you managed that, but good job.
We saw the X-ray.
We did.
By Maximum's like scan vision. Is just like he is.
It wasn't hyperbole. He has broken all of his bones. Yeah, yeah.
They were dust, like before he got punched healing into him. Now he's like he can walk around, but yeah, he ain't swinging a spear around no more. Anyways,
like
our heart wears it better.
You might be dressed funnily, but you're clearly no ordinary person. He's like, no, I'm an ordinary member of the Beast King Commandos.
It's just me, Mr. Beast, a regular fucking guy dressed as a ghost or something.
Also, him's been cured. He's now a living being, so he can be cured by magic spells.
Because he's living, he's also a
like
monster. He's also a beast commando.
Yes.
So you will address me as captain, sir.
Number 12.
I did like the thing. You're basically like a metal slime or a king metal slime now because you're a guy made of metal. That's what. And he's like, okay, I guess I'm one of those. But also, Chu has painted on him with fucking permanent magic ink, and it's like, yeah, fuck it, you're in now. And he's like, you can't just fucking paint. Like, that doesn't come off. What the fuck?
I do love the touch that now him is a living being. He now has the most expressive face in the entire show.
Yeah, it's great because
very pliable metal he's made out of.
Yeah, that'd be the metal slime bit. It's the thing of like he has those big eyebrows that his dad.
He hasn't got eyebrows.
No, the meat eyebrows. You know, that kind of fucking
brow, heavy brow. He's got
heavy brow, but like that's so fucking expressive. It does a great job of getting across like anger, shock, weirded out, confusion. It does the whole.
It's just sticking the jaws before saying.
That's true as well.
Yeah, his big mouth reactions are very funny. Then we get back onto the plots as Lahart explains that I'm not a bad guy anymore. I'm not in service. I don't work for the Vern. I work for the Dragon Knights, and as you're the only Dragon Knight,
yeah, because Miss Vern is like, "Hey, you betrayed the thing," and he's like, "I didn't fucking work for you guys. I work for Baran. All right."
I was an independent contractor.
Yeah, legally distinct from the Dark Army.
Worked under got a way better like health benefits package off his other employer because he come back from the dead.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a very low odds you will, but it did work twice, so that's pretty good.
You've got to want it when drinking the dragon's blood form of it. That requires you to want to come back from the dead. which interestingly was a plot point in the X-Men this week. But there we go. No dragon's blood involved. But yet, I'm
Yes.
sure eventually. Lockheed, you better be on the lookout. So yeah, he's like, to prove himself, he throws Pop his spear and then goes and beats Mist Vern up with his fists.
Well, it's basically like, all right, Miss Vern, take your fucking shot. That's right. I'm super fast, motherfucker. You can't hit me. Don't worry about it, Di. I got this. Sorry. He keeps calling Di Dino, and
Yes.
Di's kind of like, could you not call me the thing my dead dad kept calling me?
Yeah.
Feels a bit weird.
That's his 2 orders at the end, because Lionheart's constantly demanding throughout this episode, please give me some orders, sir.
Who should I kill? Even myself? Kill myself for you? Can I? But no, not that. Let's
he
go
does
beat him up. Help Pop and Man beat him up.
He does have a literal last will, because when he woke up in the coffin, Baron says, I figure out of the 3 of you guys, you're probably going to survive. So here's a note that says, look out for my son. He's my only boy, kind of thing.
Well, he's not. He's got 2 boys. One of the other boy is Lahart.
Yeah.
That's
my second son, my other son, I think is what he calls him.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's a nice bit.
It is. And Miss Vern has to go, I may have to consider the possibility of using all my power.
He's been holding it back all this time. Of course he has.
You keep saying that. You keep saying this, Miss Vern. I would never see it.
Yeah, like he looks at this, he looks at Lionheart and is like, he might be as powerful as that guy I spent like the last couple of episodes fighting down on the fucking ground. It's like, So he keeps claiming he has more power. I assume he does, because 3 people are going to be fighting him now.
Yes.
But, yeah.
And possibly more when the Beast Commandos catch up with them, because they're carrying. Kunkel can't fight, but he wants to be carried to the fight so we can see Vern be run through by Di.
I want to see this through, so Crocodile, carry me. But then, obviously, his best friend decides to carry him instead. It's like, no, I'm going to carry him, actually. Yes. Crocodile's like, that's fine. I didn't fucking want it anyway. Fine, whatever.
So Di and Leona finally get up to the top of them stairs, and they're onto the roof, where Vern gives them a warm greeting and says, please hurry up to the tower, because I've run out of wine, and I want to fight.
I'm so drunk.
I told you he was just getting fucking blasted the whole fucking time.
Whoa. A fine vintage, not like myself. Yeah. Anyways, come on up here. So big responsibility, because even if you don't win, a lot of people could die. All your friends could totally get killed in this castle right now. But then shut up. He's just trying to get in your head, Die.
Di's like, here, I want you to take this. It's your family heirloom knife. I already broke the other one. Take this back. And she's like, dude, don't be giving me shit like you're gonna die and shit. Like, don't be like acting like you're gonna die. He's like, no. I'm giving it to you to protect yourself and like so we can work together. And she's like, wow, I have a big inspiring thing I'm gonna think, and hopefully that tentacle monster behind me isn't gonna fucking grab me or nothing, because that would really ruin my cool speech that I'm about to have.
You should listen.
Damn it.
Leona and Di, they're equal partners. They're a team. We're going to watch each other's backs. It's like, like right now when Leona is immediately tied up, it's like,
There's a
undercuts it a little
tentacle
bit.
monster has gone into business for itself. This is not part of Vern's plan.
Vern's like, oh fuck, is that guy up? All right. Whoops.
I think Vern is like even surprised that it's somehow self-aware enough to act on its own.
Yeah, he wasn't like bullshitting. He wasn't like, haha, I actually have another secret army hidden up in this tower. It's like, oh, I forgot that guy was there. Whoops.
I mostly used him for the central heating. I didn't know you could do any of that. Yeah. All right.
Yes, he said, never expected it to act on its own. And so, yes, she's caught by a tentacle monster, which is in the ceiling with a big odd eye. Now, did we see this briefly, like really, really, really early on? But no, it might be connected to those other eyeball things that are in the thing. It was other.
Oh,
that's what I thought it was. It's just the master computer for all of those. Eyeball tentacle things. Yes. This bit at the bit was like, oh, is this the bit where we need to just get a little bit more before we go to the final battle? Because I can't see what kind of diversion this would be. Because it seems like this is like a trap in a fucking like a castle. You got dragged into it. It's even a very standard looking goblin ogre man in the preview. So it's like, okay, like this is like dudes who haven't seen, their silhouette in the opening credits or anything like that. So we shouldn't kind of have an idea of who they are. It's just like seems like just a bunch of like monsters in a castle. Like, why put this in here right now?
To draw it out.
Draw it out, besides drawing it out, yeah.
I think pretty much drawing it out is why it's there. We're super popular still. We've got to keep on making this comic out as long as possible.
Presumably when the comic was coming out, so then Dai goes up the stairs and fights the final boss, and the editor's like, could guys like bushwhack him on the stairs? Could he get like waylaid by a bunch of dudes on the stairs? And it's like, I guess it's a big stairs. It's like perfect. Just put in a tentacle monster, a weird demon man. There we go, perfect.
If Dai pushes Leona out,
Dai
pushes Leona out the window, that's what happens at the end of Kyo-Ryuga. Because I went back and watched the final episode because I was like, it seems very familiar, and it is because it's like literally the male lead and the female lead end up heading towards to face the final boss in the end of that as well.
Okay.
While everybody else is still on the ground fighting other people, I was like, oh boy, yeah, he just basically did take his plot of Dragon Quest and tweaked it a bit for the end of his Super Sentai. But I won't see whether if he boots Leona out of a high window to save her, then it's very much the same. I don't know if he's going to do that.
She was pulled into a high window, so maybe he just flipped the script on it. Yeah.
Yes, in Kyo-Ryuga is to prevent her from being blown into space dust when everything will blow up at the end. Spoiler alert, he survives as well because a load of giant robot dinosaurs fly into space to rescue him.
Man, I mean, that's not a spoiler. That's going to be exciting to see. So
the other thing that I don't think Dragon Quest is going to do that Kyo-Ryuga does, and I'd forgotten it does, is they power up King, the Red Kyo-Ryuga, by doing an a cappella version of the theme tune. All the heroes sing, or hum rather, in like a flying picket style, the tune of the theme tune in a cappella. And I was like, I forgot he did this, and I love it because I was like, that's like Final Crisis with Superman saving the universe by singing a note that saves the universe. It's super corny, but it's so earnest that absolutely love it.
Just everyone on the ground starts blasting the Dragon Quest theme.
Yeah, I'd love it if it happens here as well, but I don't think it's going to do. Also, the thing I was reminded that Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai could have used is Shigeru Chiba being the narrator, just getting absolutely excited by every single thing.
I mean, like that would improve a lot of things.
I was about to say yes, that would improve most shows. Then finally, we've got Spy Family 12, and I forgot to write the episode title down because he didn't have an episode title when I wrote this list of. That's
Penguin Park.
So this is like, if you never watched Spy Family, you can, instead of watching the first episode, you can watch the last episode, and it would basically go, here's the premise, which I'm fine with, but
exactly
it's
how
a bit
I
odd.
felt as well. Yeah, it is a little odd.
Yeah.
Dear.
This is just kind of the way it was, it's been, I would call it kind of being a little bit of that in the comic. I don't know, was there a gap in between chapters?
I was wondering, was it like supposed to be a promotional chapter, that kind of way?
Like this would have been given away with something bonus chapter celebrating the release of the first volume of the manga.
Okay,
or it's in the first volume of the manga as a bonus chapter. It's one of those two things.
It's a space filler, but it is a fun one, so
Okay, yeah, it must have been released to celebrate the first volume, and then it's included in the second volume.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so you can right back of this tree with it. But Lloyd, besides his mission that you've just been told about, he's taken on too many side missions for trying to guard like this tenuous peace between East and West. He's wrecked out of it, and he's getting flack from the neighbors and saying, "Oh, he's out on like not seeing his family. He's tomcatting away somewhere." That fun shit. Like we maintain the facade of the good father, otherwise the neighbors are going to.
I love that he is so little social graces that the old women in his apartment complex gossiping about how bad of a father he is, and he's probably cheating on his beautiful young wife. And it's just like, you can just ignore them, dude. That's just what they're gonna do. That's fine. Everything's going perfectly normal. He's like, they're on to me. I better fucking take my family to the zoo. Is his solution to the thing. Very publicly be a dad, basically, is his plan. Yeah.
Yeah. This episode, having just read the most recent chapter, because I was like, I'll just hop in to see where it is now. This episode it sort of illustrates a little bit of my worry on some of these adaptations, and I don't think it's not shown itself until this. He's like, is a given chapter always going to have enough stuff in it to make
to become an episode, is it?
to be an episode?
Yeah, that's fair.
It felt a lot like, this week and last week, got to kind of little bitty little things, like, because like sometimes like the chapters, it does that that point 1.2.
Yeah, it does the short chapters, and they work really well in comic form. But if you were to stretch those to like a 25-minute episode, it's gonna feel really fucking stretched out. Yeah.
And it's just, the kind of thing is that until they bring some more kind of bits into play, you could just like put it together out of order and make like like an episode almost sketches together in it. But basically until they get the dog that you saw last time, we have like the family as a new member. He gets into the regular rotation. You can't really do that, so you gotta get all that out of the way first. So maybe once they get that kind of in place, you can probably mess around with some more in the order of things, because they don't really affect the continuity or something.
I'm just looking at the chapter. It very much feels like this is an introductory chapter for people who haven't read it yet. It also, so they go to the aquarium. There's some...
before they go to the aquarium, basically he's contacted on the old woman who gives him the missions and stuff, and she's like, I got a new mission. He's like, no new mission. I just want a coffee and an orange juice. It's like, but you got to do this mission. It's for world peace. And it's like, no. I'm already on my main mission for world peace. Can you not today? I got to go to the aquarium. It's like, that's brilliant, Twilight. Your mission is at the fucking aquarium. And he's like, he's a workaholic. So
a terrorist plot underway. They've hidden a microfilm inside a penguin. You gotta go retrieve it. Well, like, what kind of terrorist outfit would do that? Don't answer question it, Twilight. This is between life and death. Billions could die.
It's like some weapons plans in a film case that's stuffed into a live penguin. So do that while also pretending to be a good dad. And he's like, I can probably do that, but then the neighbors are at the fucking aquarium, and he's like, no, I gotta be very publicly the good dad.
I think the neighbors being there is part of the way they expand this episode. Oh no, they are.
Yeah.
No, the way
they're there, but I think they expand the roles. Basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
They expand it by giving the woman in the booth more stuff at the start that's not in the comic, and then the stuff at the end with Anya inducting the penguin,
a new member into the spy family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then them going on their secret mission.
That was great. That was actually like some of the better stuff. I was just like, oh, this is fucking adorable right here.
Yeah. My main takeaway from the main part of it is, man, I want a Hitman mission set at the zoo or an aquarium now.
I was thinking that exact same thing, because we got to come in disguises.
You can pretend like
guys hidden in lockers. That's mostly what I was talking about. We get the shot of the dude. He's knocked out and hidden in the locker. Like, man, you're pretty knowledgeable for a first day aquarium guy. Oh yeah, I've learned all names of the penguins. It took me like a decade to learn now. I can miss up sometimes still.
The difference between in a Hitman thing of you pretending to feed the penguins and then obviously braining someone with that bucket. It works quite well.
Yeah, you get all the hits. You have like Anya. You kind of like provide telepathy, kind of gives the clues that everybody needs to save the day. Your kicks a dude into the ceiling. Get your hands off my daughter. Like everything you need to know. All the usual things are going to come up.
Like as an introductory chapter of Spy Family, it actually does a pretty good job of letting everyone get a thing to do. It's very very Lloyd centric, obviously, because it's two of his missions at the same time. But like Yor gets a bit to do of kicking someone into a fucking ceiling, and also assuming Lloyd is being adorable rather than because he's really into the penguins because he's searching for the secret penguin. Basically, she's like, oh, I guess he's quite childlike sometimes as well. And Anya misinterpreting everything that she can hear going on in people's heads. It does a good job of getting all the highlights, basically.
Also, has she read
It's
The
hard.
Minds of Animals up to this point before?
She hasn't. I don't believe so. So I guess that's a good thing for the next season.
No. But she will. She's got
Well,
to
she's
learn.
reading the Penguin's Minds here, which is
It's very much. Let's play. I want to fish.
but then there's the one
I
who's
can't
worried
fucking
about
breathe.
there's the one who's worried about his girlfriend, which
I mean, I guess it's a penguin problem too. Yeah.
it is, but it was funny. Like amongst all the things which are mainly fish, they were concerned about that there was just one who had a very human concern.
Well, they're very
Yes.
romantic, you know. They'll fall in love with other penguins, with other inanimate objects, as we know.
And I like the bit with Lloyd going through that diagram in his mind of like which penguins eat which fish and how many of those fish do they want to eat before
He's
him.
all this memorized for this very important mission
Yes.
that he just got.
Just in the off chance I've analyzed all of these like professions and all of their particular skills and what knowledge they should have at this level, and just in case I need to infiltrate as any of these professions, I have it all sorted out. Which probably explains why Agent 47 hit me can always like blend in as anything else.
Oh, he
like,
did stuff a guy in a locker in this one as well.
Yes, yeah.
You can
Yeah.
sleep. Yeah, it was it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But Agent 47 can blend anywhere, you know, whether it be like, you know, outside map in a hallway, he can be like, you know, in like a very like the chopping things as like a Michelin star restaurant kitchen. You know, you prepare for every possible scenario.
It also apparently had remembered all the penguins' names because that's how he won the penguin.
Yeah.
A big penguin for I know Daddy cheated, but
I do have a big penguin.
I do have a big
But
penguin.
yeah, the
now.
original stuff is good when she's inducting the penguin into what's her spy organization called?
It's run by the Cerberus, or not Cerberus, Chimera.
I'm director Chimera.
But yeah, the best visual gag is after she throws a tantrum when she's not allowed in Mummy and Daddy's rooms.
For very good reasons, to be fair.
Yes, but reasons they can't vocalize to each other. One's full of.
But obviously, if they're thinking about she could have fucking died if she went in my room, that's obviously making the upset child more upset. They.
I can recall like being that's father small up and just knowing like, no, your parents' room, it is forbidden territory, it's forbidden ground. Like you can like ponder mysteries of what lay beyond that portal. You never knew. That's not enough.
So then Lloyd picks up the penguin and voices the penguin, and Yor picks up a toy robot and voices the toy robot, and so they go on a mission, and so Anya says
they're going on a mission to the candy shop or something. Basically,
someone's been kidnapped at the candy shop. We must go and rescue the candy. But the fact that when they're sneaking up to the candy shop, it's the fact that the robot in front of Yor's face is embarrassed. It's got the red embarrassed cheeks.
That was so good.
On the robot. It's such a visual gag.
And again, Lloyd not understanding fucking basic social fucking shit, where he's out holding a penguin in front of him, playing with his child, and he's like, spies aren't supposed to draw attention to themselves. But everyone's just like, oh, what a cute family. That's great. You know, you're very publicly being a dad. It's fine. This is good. This is all good. And also, you love your family, you idiot.
Hard to cover.
So, you know.
If your family agent, well, that's an order. I don't want to.
And the punchline of the guy stuffed in the locker being made the chief of the penguin department.
You've mastered the penguins. I'm very proud of you, son. Your first day. So I guess he gets a promotion that he's wildly unqualified for. So everybody wins. Yeah, that's great.
The aquarium did a little close down. That's the price of world peace.
Yeah, it's a fun episode, and it gives you say. After I read the chapter before I watched the episode, even though they came out in the opposite order, the most recent chapter. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, that puts my mind at rest a little bit about how they're going to handle content where there's not much content, but there's a lot of pages covered by a little content in the comic.
I think they could do a good job of it if they like you said, Niall, do like little vignette stories where it's like, okay, here's the main plot, right? And then as a backup thing, we basically have like a Marmaduke strip. What's the dog doing? Let's fucking check in on the dog. That's fine. Yeah. That's perfect. That will work out very well.
A couple of those, yeah.
That being said, it was a very short chapter this week.
Yeah, it'll happen sometimes.
Yeah, it was. her essentially doing nothing because the bus was late. But I was like, okay, how do you get an episode out of that? Well, probably a third of an episode, I'm going to guess, is what they'll get out of it.
You'll tie it in with Frankie trying to like asking to walk the dog so you can pick up chicks. Like that's a segment right there.
Yeah, that's a perfect miniature bit you can put in.
But that's it for this week. So next week we've still got Tiger and Bunny. Last episode of Bats.
One Birdie
last
Wing.
episode of Birdie Wing. Last episode of Demon Girl Next Door. Another episode of Kodama Kawashiri, maybe. I haven't checked to see if there was one yet.
If it feels like it might turn up. No biggie.
Apparently there's 24 episodes, so I don't know how they're spreading them out into next season.
Month-long gap.
Dragon Quest continues, but there are two things which have started, well, the past week and the week before. So coming Friday as we're recording, there'll be Bastard on Netflix, which as far as I understand are normal length episodes of an anime. What there is also on Netflix, which started I think last week, is 6 episodes of Spriggan. But they're double length episodes.
Okay. You got to imagine this more. I've watched the first 2 of them. It is harkening back to here is this like your 45 or so minutes like OVA thing. You get like an action adventure romp.
I've watched the first one, and that was exactly what I was like. Oh, I forgot about this era of 90s, early 2000s OVAs where it's spy stories, but there's a spies who've got superpowers, essentially. And yes, okay, so we'll add the first episode of Bastard and the first episode of Spriggan for next week. Maybe we might have to pace out the Spriggans. We'll
like every 2 weeks to like because it's like a double length episode.
Well, that's because I feel that to me because I did the comic. It didn't go on for too long, so they're getting like I think everything into these 6 of them, unless he writes more, unless they make more of it somehow. But I don't know. I found it's exactly what it needed to be for what it is. It feels like something like this won't come around very, very often. Not in this manner. Not about this particular thing. It's like getting me in a very special place, and I want to keep that feeling going as long as I can, despite saying I've watched the first 2. But that means I just had to watch them again with you.
They dropped the opening for Bastard today as we're recording, and that definitely is pretty promising. The only thing I've got against it is it does kind of have that Netflix anime color palette to it, which I think it's sort of 90s Vertigo comic color palette. But there's some good visual things going on in that opening. I particularly like the bit where they're making a montage of Dark Schneider's face over, I can't remember the kid that he's bound into the body of. But they like making a montage of his face over the kid's face, but they're like shots of him from different angles, but it's like a pretty good visual. And then there's just so much naked Dark Schneider throughout the opening as well, which I forgot. I guess it's a Hulk situation that he's exploding outside of a smaller person's body, so I guess lots of clothes are going to be torn off him repeatedly.
And other people.
And other people, yes, but they're not in the same situation. But yeah, I don't think I've watched the OVA since the 90s on some sort of dodgy fan sub. After we started getting fan subs, all of a sudden, somebody John was at school with turned out they had one fan sub and it was all 6 episodes of Bastard. So tape trading went on to get a copy of that one. This was back when I used to hook 2 VHS recorders up together so I could do tape trading with people.
It's a good thing technology has only gotten simpler since then, and like things like this are just so fucking easy with no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, this is because then it was burning stuff onto a CDR, then it was burning stuff, then it was no, before that though, before CDRs, it was sticking stuff into an Amiga zip drive because we were the sort of people who had Amiga zip drives because we wanted that 100 megabytes of storage that we could take
Oh,
things
dude,
from A to B.
dude, I remember the fucking zip drives being the thing, and I remember when CDs finally came in. It's like, hey, do you want me to burn you the CD? And they'd be like, yeah, cool. That'll be about an hour, and it's like, cool. We'll just hang around and fucking talk. Jesus Christ, yeah.
Yeah, I find we see it in spy movies, they're transferring the files. That goes quite a lot faster.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
Wait 1 hour to get the
So
knockers down
yes,
there.
we will be able to get the experience of the early 90s and the late 90s in 2022 with Bastard and Spriggan next week.
Mm.
We'll be back then. Goodbye.
Bye.
Adios.